What comes in your mind when you think about the word motivation? Do you think that is some sort of internal force, some spark that makes us start to do the things we need to do? Or is it something that is external from us, like a convincing speech or some inspirational presentation? Well, what if motivation is none of these actually? And those ideas that we have of motivation were just a myth? In today's video, we are going to talk about the book The Motivation Myth by Jeff Haden. Hey guys, my name is Yaman Ibrahim and welcome to our channel. The first thing that caught my attention in this book is that the author does not view motivation as a spark or a precondition that we need to before we can start something. The concept is we get motivation after doing something. As the author says, actually motivation is a result. Motivation is the pride you take in work you have already done, which fuels your willingness to do even more. So the problem in waiting for motivation, or something similar to be the prerequisite for action, is that it almost never comes with enough energy to make us get started. And even sometimes when we feel that the motivation came to us as a lightning bolt, we feel that we accomplish or change something, we feel enthusiastic in the moment, but it's really hard to maintain this feeling, the same feeling in the long run. And when realize we are back at the point we started. So the author will tell us that the only recipe for motivation is success. And when he talks about success, it's not necessarily about tremendous achievements. For example, imagine that I learn a new language. So it's really great when I be able to read some text or to understand some dialogues. Those small shots of success, even tiny but incremental success, are the best tools, are the best motivation tools that we need to continue. So the formula is success leads to motivation. Motivation leads to more success. More success leads to more motivation, and the cycle goes on. Okay, the theory checks, but we have some challenges on the way. When you really want something, that something becomes a goal, a target, right? Therefore, you need a plan or a process for each goal you have. The plan is the way to achieve a goal. As you already have heard, a goal without a plan is just a wish. But according to the author, the main problem with setting a goal lies in two simple words: here and there. The distance from here, where you start, and to there, where you someday want to be, sometimes is too great, especially at the beginning. Imagine, for example, that your goal is to lose 40 pounds, and you managed last week to lose only 1 pound. How do you feel? Or imagine that you are saving money to buy a house, and last month you managed to save a few dollars. So in these examples, there is a great distance from here to there. So here's the key. Let's return to that losing weight example. If your goal is to lose 40 pounds and you created a plan to lose 1 pound a week, your main efforts must be pointed to that weekly target only. Why? Because the distance today from you to your ultimate goal is too great, but the distance to your weekly target is much shorter. And after time goes on, each little achieve will be motivating. Each little success gives you confidence to keep going. And eventually, if you keep on track, you lose 40 pounds or even more. This is so helpful because you don't need to be anxious about your ultimate goal. Your focus will be at those milestones created by your plan. And when you were at a certain point, like halfway of your ultimate goal, you can look back at the point you started and see how much you improved. So stay tuned to your plan. Sometimes it won't be fun exactly or necessarily enjoyable, but definitely rewarding. In resume, the key is to set a goal, use a target that helps you to create a plan for achieving it, and then you forget your goal and just focus on your plan. As the author says, everyone has goals. The people who actually achieve their goals create routines. They build systems. They constantly take the steps that in time will ensure they reach their ultimate goal. They don't wish, they don't hope, they just do what their plan says, consistently and without fail. You may fall sometimes or need to step back, but even in these moments, all you have to do is continue to focus at those daily or weekly tasks. If you created a plan and are committed to it, the results will come. And even if you are struggling with some tasks, you can always adjust your plan either. But may you be thinking, I understood that I need to do some action and then I'll improve and it keeps me motivated, right? But how can I perform that first action? I mean, how can I overcome the inertia? I picked some tips from the book. The first one is change I want to I have to. There are some tasks in your life you cannot negotiate. You just have to do. For example, you have to get early on your work. You have to take care of your kids if you are a parent. These kind of things cannot simply wait for the best day or the best moment to be done, right? On the other hand, going to the gym is a goal. You may want to work out, but you don't have to. It is passive to negotiation. And if it's passive to negotiation, you can delay it as long as you want. So the trick is, a goal that you want it's not just something that you want to, it's something that you have to. You have to take care of your health. You have to look out your finances. You have to take care of your family. If something really matters to you, stop to consider it as a choice and start consider it as a need. Change I want to I have to. The second tip is become what you want to achieve. Whatever you want to do will be easier if you try to think and behave like someone who already achieved what you want. For example, if you want to be someday a supervisor or a manager, you can look at your actions today. How do you treat people? How do you deal when some issue comes at your work, at your company? Start to think how a supervisor would act and try to become that person. The list goes on. If you want to be a fit person, you can think how does a fit person act, or what kind of food does or doesn't a fit person eat. If you want to be a better parent, the same. You can start to develop the behavior and the qualities you need. It will be much easier when you can combine yourself, your personality, your actions with the goal or with the person that you want to become. Tip number 3 is rework your environment. The idea is to rearrange your life in a way that facilitates the things you need to do. For example, if you want to work out in the morning, you can, on the night before, prepare your clothes, your gear, put them the nearest and the easiest as possible. So when you wake up, you won't waste time deciding what you are going to wear because all is set up. If you are struggling to be concentrated because your smartphone keeps annoying you, try to silence the notifications and leaves only that ones that are relevant to you. The point is to create an environment that facilitates your tasks, your goal, and at the same time decreases the temptations that are hijacking them. Tip number 4 is think on the benefits. Sometimes when we need to do something, all that comes in our mind is the pain and discomfort to start it. Think of workouts, for example. You get tired, it's painful sometimes, but when you do it, high levels of dopamine are released in your body. You feel refreshed, you gain confidence, energy, strength. It reduces stress, anxiety. So every time that you are struggling to start, try to think on those rewarding moments that you have after doing or completing certain tasks. I'll finish this video quoting the author once more. Your dreams are important, but your plan is what will allow you to achieve your goals and live out your dreams. Don't wait for motivation. Get started. Work your plan. When you do, you will find all motivation you need.